Welcome to Space Nights. This is going to be a fun one. I'm Austin Heff. I'm controlling the Space Nights account. We'll introduce Stephen first. Stephen Leonard of Night 247. Stephen, how are you doing on this wonderful evening?
You know, we're chilling and vibing. It's a dinosaur day kind of vibe.
I'll ask you what that means in a bit, but gotta introduce the man of the hour. He's been on a nice little tear lately. The team, he's been co-captaining this men's basketball team that's one game away from entering Big 12 play. He's here. He's Shemarri Allen. Shemarri, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Just looking forward to a great night with you, Shemarri. Before we get started, real quick, I know there's been a lot of smoke around the K.J. Jefferson and the transfer portal quarterback stuff. Stephen, do you have anything for us on that front?
Can't speak on it.
Okay. Other than what we've seen, he's in Orlando. Looks like he's on a visit. Can you at least elaborate on that?
Can't be on a visit.
Oh, so he's not on a visit. But according to his Instagram, which is public, he's in Orlando.
He could make an appearance on campus sometime, but he can't visit with the coaches.
So can't talk to coaches, but he could browse around campus. Players can hang out with him, right?
Yeah, Shemarri, if you're friends with him, you could hang out with him. But
Hey.
What? You said he played football?
Yeah, KJ Jefferson from Arkansas in the transfer portal. And there's a lot of smoke because he's in Orlando and he's in the portal. And there's been talks about us pursuing possibly a quarterback in the portal. And he's here in Orlando. 2 + 2 is 4. And yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. So, but yeah, I guess not much news on that front. Obviously, stay tuned. He can make a decision at any time he wants, similar to what Shemarri did when he was in the portal. How was that, by the way? Before we get into, I know we've probably talked about that, but now that you've been here for a while, Shemarri, you obviously came in, grad transfer. How was that experience now that you've been here, looking back on it? It's been a while now since you made that decision, but kind of reflecting on your time in the portal, coming from UMKC to UCF, can you kind of reflect with us for a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, the decision for me going into the portal, it was like I knew going in it wasn't going. I wouldn't have been in there for long. I kind of was just trying to get in and get out because I knew every day there was like hundreds of players entering the portal, just like with how basketball was going and different things like that. So whenever certain schools reached out and was on my radar, I did my research and was just locked in on to where I wanted to be at the end of the day, and it happened to be UCF. So I'm glad with the decision I made at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we're very glad. Want to reflect a little bit on your season so far. I appreciate you checking in with us mid-season. It's helpful, I think, as a fan base, as folks who support the team, to kind of get kind of like a reflecting on what we've done so far and look ahead to what's to come. So let's just go back to last game. I think that was. I'm looking at all your games. Just statistically, I've been watching all of them as well. I think one of your most polished games we've seen so far, especially offensively. Can you talk to us about that game and what the offense was like, witnessing kind of folks around you, your teammates? The shots are there, but I feel like there was a closed lid on the rim because the shot selection was pretty perfect. It's just like one of those nights where things weren't falling. So can you kind of walk us through that FAMU game that we just had on the 21st?
Yeah, it was like you said, just a lot of our shots were shots we take each and every day. Felt like things just weren't falling for us offensively, but we got it done on the defensive end, and I feel like that's what helped us really control the game and just get the win at the end of the day was our defense.
And looking at the season, right? Blowout win against FIU, unfortunate loss, much closer than it was on the score. Then a huge response to Cal State Fullerton, and then San Diego State. You go on a win streak against Charlotte. Unfortunate loss of Stetson, but the responses have been there. Is that something that Johnny keys in on? It's like, hey, not every night is going to be your best night, but it's how you respond is what shows who you are as a player and as a team. Is that something that he harps on when you have unfortunate, like, kind of performances?
Yeah, like our weeks and practices are just like really how we respond and like how we approach the week going into the next game. It's really been our like focus after those losses, but it's really been like lessons at the end of the day, not so much like holding our heads down, just staying focused and locked in and really trying to get everything done one step at a time, one game at a time.
And I've talked to you so many times about this, but to come in as a transfer and to be named co-captain, fresh off. I mean, you said that's what they were looking for when they were talking to you once you hit the portal. Like, hey, we need a leader. You've definitely delivered on that. I know it was an unfortunate result, but I really feel like this Ole Miss game was a good showing of what we're capable of, because they were undefeated going in to that game. They come to our house and we gave them hell. They only scored 70, lost by 2. In my opinion, I think that may have been your best overall game, and it was great because we had a great crowd showing. I feel like you fed off that. Can you kind of walk us through what that game meant? A Power 5 opponent at home, they were undefeated, and what we can kind of learn, like you mentioned, lessons. What lesson did we learn from that Ole Miss game?
Each and every night we're gonna go out there and give it our all. I mean, Coach preached that whole week like this is what a Big 12 game is gonna be like, and like just be ready for it when conference play does start up. But we have another game this Friday to focus on in Bethune-Cookman, so that's just been our main focus, just focusing on game Friday before we head into conference play.
And I mean, that game was fun. But for you, right, the holiday season, you got your family in Orlando. I know you've been posting a little bit about your child. We talked about that. What is the holiday little break has been like for you? What have you been up to? Kind of catch us up on, Shemarri off the court lately.
Just really taking this time to, like you said, spend time with family, relaxing. We had a few days to rest, get our legs back up under it. So just using it to, you know, stay healthy and stay ready for the second half of our season.
And for you, I think I commented on my Twitter earlier, and if you watch this team, I love watching you play because it's kind of like reminds me of me, just like wanting to be just a great teammate. Stats don't matter as much as winning, and I love that. I feel like you approach the game the same way, even though you're filling up a stat sheet every night. It seems like you approach it like that. I would love to go through some of the players you've been playing with now. You've been there for a while. I'd love to do a little bit of word association. So if I throw a player's name at you, just got to give me one word, the first word that comes to your mind. And this is a player I feel like has been growing on people's radars. Let's hear word association. One word: Marcellus Avery.
Gee, interesting.
Okay, I know I said one word, but I have to ask a follow up to that. What do you mean by interesting?
Just like what he does on the court, like you know, sometimes you don't expect it. Like he'll go out there and like with his size, like beat out there, banging with the 4 or 5 men, and he'll do like a nice post move and just be at the rim and go up and dunk. And like it's surprising to me sometimes just to see him do that at his size and weight. He's pretty like not an undersized, but like a decent size 3-4 man. But like the way he be down there using his speed and things like that is just like he really has it in his bag.
And at that height, I think it's surprising. I saw you reposted it, but he's got a look from like a college mixtape Instagram page. I remember last year, that's when I feel like things started taking off for Taylor Hendricks. There was like a NBA draft Instagram that posted him, and it's just I agree. It's interesting watching him play because he's 6'7", but he can do pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Put the ball on the floor, go up and make a three off the catch and shoot, defend, which Johnny obviously loves that. So I appreciate you opening up about Marcellus. Now, this is someone who's been interesting because you have a day in the life video, and we're going to talk about your YouTube channel here at some point tonight, probably soon. But he's someone who I feel like is also growing on people's radars. His name's Antoine Jones. Can you give me the first word that comes to your mind?
Antoine. I could say he's one word, leadership. A lot of people don't really see it, but like he really is like a vocal leader in the locker room, on the floor. Like, I know he's just coming back not too long ago. Like, Ole Miss was his first game back, so just like getting him back into the groove of things has been like the main focus. But a lot of the stuff he does in practice like helps us as a team, and it's been helping us throughout the whole season. So like his leadership is really big for us, and like a lot of people like look at him as one of the older guys on the team. He's been through a lot as well as myself. So like anytime any of the younger guys have any questions, like they really like lean on a lot of the older guys and captains. So leadership is probably a good one for him.
So we've done two. We've done Marcellus Avery, who's interesting. We've done Antoine Jones, who's a leader. What about big man? Let's step away from the shorter guys for a bit. Let's go big man. Let's go Omar Payne. First word that comes to your mind when you hear Omar's name.
Omar. He's energy. A lot of our guys are like energy guys, but like it's just out there with O, like especially defensively, he helps me out a lot defensively. A lot of people don't like really see it, but like out there on the defensive end, like he's talking, doing all the little things, blocking shots, like grabbing rebounds, and just letting the guards know where the screen's coming from, what different coverage we're in at the time. So just his energy on both ends, really being able to run the floor has been really good for us as a team.
I may have to make a tweet after this, kind of codifying these line by line. So we had Marcellus Avery, who's interesting, Antoine Jones is leader, and then we had Omar Payne, who's energy, which is great. I feel like we're getting a lot of balance right now. We got an interesting player. You got to kind of keep your eyes on leader, vocal. You could tell in that video, someone who you could tell the way that Antoine moves, that like someone that I personally would like to follow, like just like the way he works out, is a great athlete, and just you could tell when he speaks, we should listen. Now, your co-captain. Let's go one more. Well, I know it's probably been difficult for you. I didn't prep you for this, so kind of apologize here. But we'll do one more. Darius Johnson. First word you hear or you in your mind when you think of Darius Johnson.
Playmaker.
Can you kind of speak on that? I have some things on, like I think of when I hear his name and playmaker. But from your perspective, someone who's there every day, when you say he's a playmaker, what does that mean?
Just being able to like get whatever he wants. Really, he's very like he uses his pace well. He knows when to like push the ball up the floor, and his ability to like get others shots where they need it is like one of his best attributes. And he can also like shoot the ball well, get into the rim, play above the rim. Playing in there with the bigs is just something he's really great at. And a lot of people sleep on it, but like his own ball, like his defense on and off the ball is like great. His talk is amazing. One of the better perimeter defenders in the conference, in my eye.
I mean, give yourself a little credit. I mean, I talked about it in the tweet, but it matters. When you have good perimeter defense, it changes a lot because guards think they could just come down, find their spot, hit the shot. It's a run and gun game nowadays. So I think perimeter defense is as premium as it can get in 2023. So that's good. You're talking highly of Darius, both you guys. I mean, we're going to need that for sure as we, head into Big 12 play in a really pretty strong conference. So it went through a few players, went through a few games. Let's talk about Bethune-Cookman. I know that we're coming off a game, like you said, a little bit of a closed rim. Let's not talk like detailed game plan, but like after that offensive showing, has there been a bigger emphasis on offense in practice? Like what's the kind of practice has been like, obviously with a little rest in between, but with the focus coming up on Friday?
There's been no real change. I mean, I think the little break we had, the rest we had, is really going to be like the biggest difference. Like just going out there, having our legs up under us from Christmas break, just really keeping our confidence. We know like the shots we take each and every day, so just having that confidence on a nightly basis, knowing like we can knock the shots down when we have them, just take them, shoot our bullets when we're open at the end of the day, and the rest will handle itself.
And I feel like early in the year for you, Shemarri, 3-point shooting, I feel like it was something that you weren't like being assertive about. I think that you were taking the shots they were giving you, but in the last game, I feel like you were taking 3-point shots. I wasn't exactly used to seeing from you this year in particular yet, maybe. Has there been kind of like a shift for you, like confidence-wise with shooting that we got to see? Or is just like, was the game plan for that specific game? Can you talk to us about your 3-point shooting in particular?
I think earlier in the season I just wasn't looking at him as much as I am now. I mean, a lot of teams aren't closing out as hard. They're closing out as drivers. So just keeping the confidence and just shooting my bullets whenever I'm open has been my main focus because like I've always been able to shoot the ball. Just actually letting it fly has been my main thing the last few games.
Speaking of letting it fly, Jalen Sellers was on a tear, and he talk about shot creator. I mean, I play a lot of 2K. I've played a lot of 2K in my day, and I feel like he's just a pure shot creator, maybe a two-way shot creator because he's got great defensive instincts. But can you talk to us about what you're seeing from Jalen Sellers as a fellow left-handed player like me, going to get his shots and putting up a lot of points so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, he gets it done on, like you said, both ends of the floor. He's able to get really any shot he wants on the floor. So, like, we trust and believe in him. So, like, as our job as guards is to help him get, the easiest shot possible. And I feel like our guard play, we do that really well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, again, 8-3, kind of pretty much where you want to be going into one more game and then Big 12 play. What's it like? We haven't been able to ask you, but what's it like playing in a much bigger arena than you were used to at UMKC? Some of the atmospheres you've seen at home, you're used to seeing them on the road. You've been in some big road games before, but just playing in front of Night Nation, what has that been like for you?
It's been a great experience. I mean, every night the fans really do show up, and I know like over break, I'm not used to as many fans showing up, but like the game we just had against FAMU, there was a pretty good showing. So I know when next semester starts up, it'll be a lot more just with conference play, different things like that. So I'm super excited for that and to get more and more fans as we continue to win more and more games.
Yeah, that place was rocking for Ole Miss. Been there for a few games before that, and just I love just the energy that you could feel in the arena. With a Coach Dawkins team, it's always been an energetic thing with him. Never been short of energy, and the offense. I mean, would love to talk about one game in particular, Jacksonville. What the heck happened? You guys put up like almost 100 points. I don't know if you remember that game, but I think you guys scored 94. Can you talk about like what it's like to be part of a team where just everybody's eating?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that game we just, if I'm not mistaken, was that the game we had just came off the? Oh no, we played Lipscomb before. Oh, we just, I don't know, we just had a lot going for us that night. I mean, the rim definitely felt big for a lot of players on the team, and just our ability to share the ball, like you said, everybody was eating, and essentially we were playing to we like we always do. I think that night we just played a lot more together as one.
Yeah, you picked up 3 steals in that one. I mean, I love when defense moves to offense because then you turn that around and got 3 assists with on top of those 3 steals. And I mean, I just love looking at some of these numbers. Silla went 7 for 11, probably his best game as a night. Sellers had his fair share of points, 3 for 8 from 3. You love those kind of games in Avery. I feel like that was like one of his breakout games, 3 for 4 from 3, where he kind of showed, hey, he could do a lot.
Yeah.
So what's the identity of, like, if you had to pinpoint, because it's hard, right? When you look at Houston, I feel like they're in and out game. They're looking at like a good Houston team from last year, just thinking of teams with identities. If I had to ask you, what's the identity of the UCF men's basketball team? Well, how would you describe it?
I would say like we play hard nosed basketball, get it done on the defensive end. We know our defense will help us win games. It travels. Like, and offensively, we just like pretty much a well flowing team, just letting everybody see the shots that they need to see, and getting everybody involved is our like main thing. Taking what the defense gives us.
Mm, I love that, and I feel like you've been responding to that all year. In my opinion, there hasn't been any shortages of offense throughout the year. Obviously some unfortunate losses, but in those losses, I feel like offensively, we showed we could play and put points on the board, which is huge. Because even if it's not your best night, to still have good offense flowing is good to see. I would love to talk to you about something that you kind of alluded to, the full court press. You said that defense is what helped you all kind of win that FAMU game, not their offensive. I feel like the switch flipped on when we went to the press. Can you talk about the full court press of the UCF men's basketball team and why we're not doing it all the time? Is it something that we kind of can't do all the time because you have to like randomly throw it out there to throw them off?
I think just what our game plan like is for a particular game. Just different teams run different things, so we just got to be smart about like different things we do. But I feel like we do when we are pressuring teams, keeping it out of the point guard's hands for the most part. That tend to like throw things off for other teams.
Do you sense that they're getting like, as someone who's up close and personal with the full court press, because I feel like every time we go to it, it's been positive. Do you kind of sense like like, oh man, they're really pressing right now? Like, do you sense that when you get to the press?
Yeah, you could tell like especially late in the game, there a lot of teams get tired, and we work on it a lot. So by the time we have our legs up under us, we aren't tired. So just seeing that on their face just gives us more energy to keep going and hopefully turn them over, different things like that.
Now, I remember Jalen Sellers had a huge dunk early this year, and I messaged you. I'm like, the goal, Shemarri, now is to one up that. I feel like you kind of have. Uh, Particularly, the Ole Miss dunk was huge, but even last game, you had a big dunk. Is there like an internal competition on the team when it comes to who's going to make the best highlight play? Is there like pushing each other, like, hey, let's go make a big play, motivate each other for energy purposes?
I think more so energy purposes. Like we see one of the guys catch a body or get a big block, do something like that. It definitely brings a lot of energy, and that helps us out a lot as a team. Just getting going, different things like that. So I would have to say probably more so energy plays. Yeah.
That's huge. Steven, do you have any questions for Shemarri or any topics you want to bring up?
No, I'm kind of letting you rock. Like you're doing a great job of this, Austin.
Thank you. Shemarri is backpacking as usual.
Yeah, I mean, I may or may not be doing laundry.
That's awesome. So now we talked about goals, and I know you hit the portal. You wanted to come. I remember you mentioned it. It was facilities was a big thing for you. You were able to get that at UCF, Power Five environment. Is there a goal, possibly talked about going into Big 12 play just for the season overall? Is that and what is that goal? It has Coach Dawkins mentioned a goal, and if you can explain to us like what it is and how we're going to get there.
I mean, we talk about it in the locker room as a team. Like our goal is to, go undefeated conference, win conference, and make it to the NCAA tournament. Dominate conference is
Wow.
basically our team goal. Yeah.
And a lot of fans, I'm just looking at the post game notes. I love this. This is very clean the way we publish this. A lot of fans, I think, are skeptical of Big 12 play. We were like middle of the pack AAC, but I'd love to respond to that. People saying, "Oh, we could barely cut in the AAC. Why the Big 12?" First of all, AAC is a really good basketball conference. Second of all, we beat some of the top flight AAC teams. And last year, we played one Big 12 team on a neutral site, and we won that game, Oklahoma State. So I guess from your perspective, Shemarri, you've been here for a while. If I had to ask you, why should fans stop sleeping on men's basketball, and why should fans give men's basketball a chance? What would be your response?
I mean, with the way the college basketball is today, I mean, anybody can be beaten any given night. I mean, we're coming into the Big 12 to obviously dominate, and we have a lot of people. We have a lot of great talent on the team, as you all have seen. But like you said, I mean, they don't really know yet. So, I mean, only thing we can do is go out each and every night and continue to stack the win column, and then hopefully they'll come out and support.
Yeah, and that's huge. And speaking of dominating Big 12 play, we got a big piece back that we were unfortunately without for a while. You probably know who I'm thinking of right now, who I'm talking about. What's it like getting CJ back in the full swing of things? Someone who's probably one of the best athletes I've ever seen, regardless of sport. In the mix. What's it like getting CJ back in the mix?
Oh, it's been great having him back. I mean, both ends of the floor, like just having his leadership, his experience, different things like that. It has been really great to have him back out there on the floor. I mean, he'll be back. Like he's obviously getting back into game shape, so he was a little, rusty his first one back, but that was like expected. But we're super excited to have him back and can't wait to see the great things he has for us.
Yeah, and that's exciting. I mean, I feel like this is one of the deepest rosters I've ever seen under Coach Johnny Dawkins, because I think you can go you can go 10-man rotation and not really miss a beat with so much talent. I mean, you got Langford started last game. Somebody who I think that's your roommate you mentioned. Well, he was there. He started, and you guys got the win. What can you kind of talk to us also about playing? Starting in that game with Langford, DeMar, and DeMar Langford, and his contributions, what he's been able to bring to the table in this pretty deep roster at UCF.
He's been able to bring a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't really know, but he's able to really guard the 1 through 5 position. His height don't really show it, but like he's super strong and can bang down there with the bigs, while also being able to bring the ball up, guard the point guards, shooting guards, wings, different things like that. He bring on the defensive end, and then offensively, just being able to use his size against smaller guards, having mismatches, and just his experience as well. He's coming from Boston College and played in the ACC, so he knows what it looks like on each and every night. So just having him has been a big piece of our success.
And yeah, I mean, it's been, it's pretty crazy when you go down the roster. Like, dang, like who's gonna play? Like, how are we gonna get everybody some minutes? I'm telling you, like, even like a Tyler. I think he's like, in my opinion, he's a spark plug. Come in, knock down a few shots. I mean, even that Jacksonville game, I was looking at the box score, but even just looking at a Tyler Hendricks, can you talk to us about Tyler and what he's been able to kind of accomplish this first time getting any D1 minutes? Last year he redshirted. So can you let us know what you're seeing from Tyler as he grows as a player?
He's been really great for us. I feel like he's another one of our best two-way players we have, being able to knock the open shots down while also getting it done defensively. But his knack for rebounding offensively, defensively, keeping possessions alive has been like really great for our team. So like I feel like that's been the biggest thing for us when it comes to Tyler, him being able to, do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I love watching his development. Because I feel like he came in with Taylor, and then I feel like he's been growing. But I'd love for you to talk about one more player, and then we'll switch topics, stop talking about your teammates. But Nils Mikowski, he's been, to me, kind of a surprise. He's got great handles. Can you talk to us about Nils and his approach and how his game kind of complements what everyone else is doing?
Yeah, he has great pace as a freshman. I mean, learning from the older guys has been like his main thing. Being able to, keep the game controlled whenever DJ, myself is out the game. So, I mean, he's learning quick, and he's been another big piece of our success. Just like anybody else. I mean, you can go throughout the whole roster. Everyone has had their moments and will continue to have their moments throughout the season. So, I feel like we're a really complete team. Just putting it together each and every night has been our main focus.
And Johnny talked about Niels having to like learn the American style of basketball. Obviously, you're probably a pretty big part in helping him along in that, as he's played in Europe. He's played professionally a little bit. How's that been for you, trying to teach him a different style?
It's been a smooth transition. He's learning like everything we're telling him, teaching him. He's a great listener, so it's not too hard. Like giving him different advice on like how to do certain things and how to go about certain situations on the floor.
And that's exciting. I mean, he's lucky to have, the unanimous co-captain to learn under, transferring in, both new. But someone like you who, congrats, by the way, over 2,000 minutes of D1 basketball. That's a lot of minutes. I can't even count that high. But you, we mentioned it earlier. Would love for you to talk about your YouTube channel. You did a day in the life video, kind of early mornings, kind of letting us know this is a grind. Like what sparked that, and can you like let us know about being on YouTube and that transition for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been something that I've been interested in, but just haven't really like, put my foot all the way into it. But like I feel like this year, shout out to my our manager, one of our managers, John. He's been helping me. He's like really good with the YouTube things, editing. So just having him in my corner, in my side, telling me like, hey, I really think you got a chance at this stuff. Like just showing the younger generation on like what it takes and what it's like each and every day. And that's really my like main focus, just like showing the kids like back home what it's like to be a Division 1 athlete, what different things you get to experience, and like just having fun with it at the end of the day is my main like goal and focus.
And your YouTube is just under your name, just for the people listening at home?
Yeah, you should just be able to type in my first and last name and on YouTube, and you'll see videos pop up, basketball, and then also my channel as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Austin will link it on the Spotify.
I definitely will link it on the Spotify. Actually, I'm on it right now. I'm on the channel. It's called It's Just Work. Love that. Perfect name. So the episode 1 is Just Work, and it's kind of crazy, right? I mean, Shemarri, like a quick history lesson. There's a guy named Donald De La Haye. He goes by Destroying. He was on the same campus you're on now at UCF, and he was making day in the life video similar to the one you made. And I'm happy you made it, and I freaking love it. Please go watch it. Just search Shemarri Allen. I linked it under the space. Yep, it's right there. If you click the bubble at the bottom, obviously, also if you're listening on Spotify, you'll see the link. But he was making videos, and they gave him an ultimatum like, "Hey, you either need to stop making videos or stop monetizing your videos and refuse to collect the money or leave the football team." So what's it kind of like now in this new era where that's no longer the case, right? You can go make a YouTube channel. You could profit off your name, image, and likeness. What's that like? Is that, you think that has that been like a positive thing, or do you think that it's kind of done negative damage with NIL? Kind of what's your stance on that?
I feel like it's a positive thing because certain people don't have the opportunity to have NIL, and this would be another way for them to make, um, or they might not be on scholarship, different things like that, or so just having different ways to make a little extra money to help out with being a college student is also always a great way to continue to work towards.
And that's awesome. So you got your YouTube. I love that you're pretty active on Instagram. Can you let people know who are listening on Twitter right now to go find your Instagram? What's your Instagram handle? So make sure people follow you there too.
Yeah, it's just my first and last name, Shemarri Allen.
Perfect. Easy enough. Not much difficulty, keeping it easy for Night Nation to find you on Instagram. So personally for you, right, you're at UCF. Your goal is a team goal. But personally for you, like, what do you want to see from your game when you look back at the end of the season as we enter conference play? In my opinion, by the way, I saw the post-game notes. Some of your best games have been recently. I think the last 6 games, 3 of those games have been your 3 best games. So kind of speaking on you now, let's focus on you for a bit. When you look back at the end of the year, what do you want to see from yourself as you move through conference play coming up soon?
Just continue to go up and trend up. Get 1% better each and every day has been my main focus personally, and also as a team, that's been our main focus. Just getting 1% better. If we all can continue to get better individually, the team will have more success. So that's really been the main focus.
And I feel like you're not a very like celebratory, like flashy guy after a big play. But how about we try to workshop some kind of like celebration, maybe like a salute. You make a 3 and like salute to the crowd or something like that. We got to figure something out where it's like, okay, this was birthed right here, right now, with everyone listening. We got to think of something. Maybe after a big dunk or a big three. What are we thinking?
I don't really know. I mean, it's always been like that for me. Next play mentality, but like I'll get back in the locker room with the guys, and then they'll be like, "Why didn't you, celebrate or do different things like that?" But like in the locker room, that's whenever you know, I'll wind down and be like, "Wow, maybe I did do that."
Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay,
No,
make it.
no Rolly celebrations. Like do a little Shador.
I've never been a flashy type. I feel like if I tried to do that, it just wouldn't look right on my end. Like I'm not used to doing it, so maybe I might try it one time and then become a meme or something.
Yeah, you're a lunch pail kind of guy.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah, you mentioned that on Space Nights Out that we were a blue collar team, and you being the co-captain, it pretty much starts from the top down. But we had Chloe Evans on here last season, I think during or before. We asked her to do, I think it was during. We asked her to do like a bow and arrow celebration after she got a hit. She didn't do it, so you have the chance to be the first Space Nights athlete to actually do a celebration. Maybe you make a three into the bow and arrow to the crowd or something. What do you feel? How are we feeling?
If it feels right, I might think about it.
All righty. Well, stay tuned. This Friday, UCF versus Bethune-Cookman. You may see Shemarri take something we talked about here and bring it to the core. But so obviously last game before conference play, and I know you said that's your main focus. Get the just hunker down. You never know what kind of game you're going to get, what the defense is going to give you. But in terms of overall team performance in that game, what do you want to see? Do you want to see good energy? Do you want to see free throws? Do you want to see boxing out? Like, is there like a part of the game that you in your mind you want to see like excel this Friday?
I feel like throughout the whole season we've had uh we've had one half where we played better than the other. So for me it's just a full 40 minutes like on both ends of the floor. I feel like if we can do that for our last non-conference game, that'll give us a lot of confidence as a team going into conference play.
And for those of us, which is all of us, who haven't played D1 college basketball, what does that mean when you play one half and not like play one half differently from the other? Like what kind of leads to that? Like I know Johnny got on you guys. He claimed, and I don't know if I fully agreed with him, that the Ole Miss game you guys took a little bit to get a feel of the game. I just think the shots just weren't dropping at first. But can you kind of explain to us when somebody says, like you just said, one half's not as good as the other? Like, what is that? Like, what leads to that?
For the most part, like I feel like us as a team, like we'll come out hot first half and then have a pretty decent lead and then kind of let the team outscore us or do a lot better than us in the second half, and we'll still come out with the win, but just having that mindset of like dominating for a full 40 minutes has been like our main focus.
And it's speaking of focusing, speaking of dominating, your female counterparts, the women's team had their best start in school history, going 8-0. What's it like, kind of watching them move with Coach Mess and the ladies, and how they've been performing?
They've been doing really well. I mean, like you said, best start in school history. So shout out to the women's team and what they're doing on their end. Wish them nothing but the best moving into conference play. So I'm super excited for what they have ahead of them.
Yeah, they got a big matchup on the road at Oklahoma, Saturday, December 30th. So coming up this Saturday, the day after we played with Cookman and men's. the women are going to be on the road, so make sure to tune into ESPN Plus and support the women's team. This is going to be obviously a great test for them. One of the top, just overall college brands of Oklahoma. For us to go in there and play well and possibly get the win would obviously be huge, and really put everyone on notice. But yeah, Shemarri, this is really fun. Can you let's recap Space Nights Out a little bit before we conclude tonight? It was the first time we've done a live event. I screwed up a couple of those trivia questions. What was that like, kind of stepping out and doing like a live interview in front of like a crowd and having fans there? Can you talk to us about that night? I know you getting there was pretty funny because you're kind of like, it was in the corner. I came outside. Like, can you talk to us about Space Nights Out and what that night was like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a great experience. First time I've actually done something like that since being in college, and I really enjoyed it. It felt like, my my recognition and hard work is like paying off for people to want me around and come speak to the fans. So just remaining humble throughout the whole process has been my like biggest focus, and not getting a big head about certain situations and different things like that.
And I know you've been posting about him a little bit more, Payson. Can you talk to us about being a dad? I'm also a dad, and people don't understand, when you're a dad, you actually, they say you have to teach the kid so many things, but in my head, the way I've been, witnessing fatherhood and being a father, I feel like I've been doing a lot more learning than teaching. Can you talk to us about fatherhood for you and what it's meant to you to be a dad?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been a lot of learning for me as well. Just learning on the fly, like different things, what he likes, how to, keep him entertained for X amount of time. Like just like the little things has been my focus on, like how to keep him like from crying, different learning his eating schedule, all that. Just, I mean, it's been fun.
Yeah, for you to be able to witness all like the first, it's like such a fun thing. Are y'all on Cocomelon yet? Is he watching Cocomelon at all?
Nah, he watches this dancing fruits on YouTube. They just play it live. He haven't got on Coco Melon yet. I
I
just turn on like dancing fruits on my phone or the TV, and he'll just watch the fruits dance with the music for however long he's, sitting down or awake.
I detest Coco Melon. I was with
What's your
my
stand?
I was with my nephews for Christmas. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Why? What's wrong with Cocomelon?
Bro, those little kids are annoying. JJ and Cody, those kids are annoying, bro.
You just called your own nephews annoying, bro. Oh, you're talking about.
No,
Oh, you're talking about the
JJ
kids
and
from
Cody, the
Cocomelon.
characters,
Yeah,
bro.
the characters.
Yeah,
Characters. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. My bad. My bad. Yeah. Why are they annoying?
bro. They just, I don't know. It gives me Caillou vibes. I can't describe it, but the kid's annoying.
Tamari's like, damn, maybe I have to not turn on Cocomelon when he gets older.
Bro, I don't know. You just want to punch like Caillou in the face, bro.
There's some good ones. There's a soccer one. There's a basketball one. They talk about defense and scoring.
I don't know. Bluey, that's a chill show.
You like Bluey?
I can watch some Bluey.
My son's been liking Miss Rachel's going to be great. Obviously, Payson's a little young, I think, right now, Shemarri. But once he gets a little older, Miss Rachel's great. She's very engaging, teaching them like certain sounds how to speak. So once he gets to that level, he'll be able to consume something like a show like Miss Rachel's show. Yeah, YouTube's been great. That's been such a luxury, I think, as parents. Back in the day, you know, it was hard to find something that's educational but also engaging that you can just pull up anywhere you're at.
Yeah. No,
But
sure.
now, before we conclude, last question. Your last year of college ball. Is there something you've learned as an older player that you would want to tell the younger version of yourself? Like one piece of advice, that something you've learned as you've moved, over 2,000 minutes of D1 ball. In those 2,000 minutes, is there something you would wanted to tell the Shemarri Allen before stepping on the court in D1 ball?
Just to never take anything for granted. Not even practices, workouts, treatment sessions, film sessions, different things like that. Just approach the game with your all, give it your all, because you never know, like, when stop playing, when the ball stop bouncing. You could stop bouncing tomorrow. You'll be like, dang, I wish I would have done this, that. So just having that mindset when it comes to everything.
Oh, that's awesome. And I feel like that's a little bit common, especially, someone who's in their last year. It's like, dang, like, D1 days are coming to an end. I feel like you've been approaching that like perfectly. But tonight was really fun, man. We got to talk about your season, the 3-point shooting picking up lately, looking for your shots, opposed to, not looking for it. Now you're looking for it, which I'm excited to see more of that. The defense, how the team has been kind of responding after unfortunate performances. Yeah, this was fun. Remember, subscribe to Shemarri on YouTube. I posted the video in the bottom of the space. I will be posting a link to his channel on Spotify. This is also going to be on YouTube, so that link will also be on the YouTube description as well. Follow him on Instagram. I will be posting Shemarri's Instagram on both Spotify and YouTube as well. So make sure, because he's very active throughout the season, reposting things about his teammates, posting things that he sees, and it's just really good content. Shemarri, man, this was fun.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, have a great night. Appreciate you joining us. This is going to be fun. I guess I'll see you Friday.
Yeah, see you all Friday. Hope to see a lot of the supporters and fans as well.
Yeah, do we know it? Let's see, tip-off time is 7 o'clock. So Friday, December 29th. If you're in the area, stop in. It's a night tip-off. It's going to be fun. It's always a great atmosphere at Addition Financial Arena. Steven, you had something?
Yeah, I actually unfortunately won't be there for this game because the Under Armour All-American game stuff. But I will be rooting you guys on in spirit.
Appreciate that.
And me and my son will be there. Hopefully he's not like, hey, let's go home. When I go to a game without him, if he's with his mom, or if he's with his mom's house, like, I will be there the whole time. If he's with me, he's like, hey, Dad, I want to go home. Like, it's like halftime. I'm like, I guess we're gonna leave. So hopefully he's down to stay the whole time. We'll see. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yes,
also,
sir,
if you have nothing going on I think the 3rd, come down to the Citrus Bowl or Camping World or whatever it's called now, and watch Quay Birdsong, Jalen Hayward, and Kylan Fox in the Under Armour All-American game. And you can see me, which is fun, I think. People enjoy seeing me.
That's going to be fun. So Under Armour All-American game coming up January 3rd. Also, unfortunate, just going to speak on this real quick. Keep my wife in your prayers. Her dad just passed. Tonight's episode is dedicated to Horst. Wishing her family well. It's a very sad time for her and us past few days. That's why tonight I think was really fun to be able to do this. But rest in peace to Horst, great man who raised my wife. So rest in peace to him. And looking forward to just a really fun weekend that's coming up. A lot of good college football on too. Thank you everybody who was here tonight tuning in. And thank you, Shemarri. And until next week, we'll be back next Wednesday. Go Knights.
So nice. Charge on.
Charge on.